He tightened the last bolt with steady hands. Sweat clung to his brow, but he didn't pause. Work was all he had. His fingers, rough and stained, moved with quiet certainty. That car wasn't special, but the way he treated it was. Every job, every tool, every task, it meant something. No one ever waited for him at home. No one ever had. He had grown up learning not to expect warmth. Orphaned young, passed between strangers who gave food but not care, he understood what it meant to be alone. And still, he chose to be gentle, chose to help, chose to stay kind. He never said much. He didn't need to. His hands told his story, every turn of the wrench, every patch of rust he cleaned. Fixing what others gave up on, that was enough. Until he heard something different. Wheels soft, slow, rolling. He stood, wiping his hands without looking. And then he saw her. A girl, maybe 16, struggling to move closer in a wheelchair. Her eyes didn't ask for pity. They looked right into him. "Excuse me," she said. Her voice was clear. "Are you Mr. Samir?" He nodded, stepping forward. "Yes, that's me. How can I help you?" She pointed with quiet urgency toward the road. "That car, it was my father's." He followed her gaze. The frame, broken. Tires flat. Windshield cracked through like old ice. It looked forgotten. "He passed away last year," she said steady. "It's all I have left of him." He didn't say anything right away. Just watched her face. No tears, just focus. That kind of focus doesn't come from wanting something. It comes from needing it. "I want to fix it," she continued. "I've saved some money from tutoring kids online. It's not a lot, I know, but I need it to run again. I want to ride in on my birthday. Just once." He walked over to the car, knelt beside it. The metal flaked under his fingers. The engine was rusted. The upholstery torn through. Everything about it said no. But he looked back at her. Not at the wheelchair. Not at her legs. Just at the eyes that had come here with a dream. "Leave it here. Let me take a look. No promises." She reached in her bag and pulled out a small brown envelope. No hesitation, no apology, just honesty. "It's not much," she said. He didn't open it. Didn't check. Just took it in his calloused hand and gave a single nod. That was enough. When she left, he stayed. The envelope untouched on the bench. The car waiting. He turned on the single light above the workbench and opened the hood. The engine groaned as he tried to lift it. Years of decay fought back, but he kept going. Every stubborn bolt he twisted loose. Something inside him loosened too. Grease on his hands. Sweat in his eyes. His thoughts drifted uninvited. A flash, his own hands smaller than, gripping the back seat of a car. Laughter in the front. His father's voice. The memory hit like a hammer to the chest. Then just silence. He wiped his face with his sleeve and leaned into the work again. Why did it matter so much? Why this car, this girl, this moment? He didn't know, but he knew he wasn't walking away. She came back the next day. A small box in her lap. "I baked these. To say thank you." He opened the lid. Muffins, slightly uneven, some a little burnt. But the gesture landed harder than perfect ones ever could. He took one, nodded. No words. She started visiting every afternoon. Sat nearby as he worked. Sometimes reading aloud. Sometimes watching in silence. The comfort wasn't loud. It was steady. "My dad used to take me on long drives," she said once, eyes distant. "Through the countryside. He never rushed. He said the road teaches you things if you listen." Samir kept adjusting a belt. Didn't interrupt. "There was an accident," she added. Her voice didn't shake. "Took his life. Took my legs." Still, he didn't speak. But his hand paused on the wrench. That pause meant everything. "I used to dance," she whispered another day, almost to herself. "I used to run." He tightened the last bolt with slow care. "You know," she said finally, "some people come into your life for a reason, maybe to fix more than just broken cars." He didn't answer, but something inside him moved. He stopped going home early. The shop lights stayed on longer. Nights bled into mornings. Every spare part, every hidden bolt, he chased like it mattered more than sleep. He called in favors, dug through scrapyards, spent hours searching just to find one match. She tried offering more money. He shook his head before she could finish. His hands were already covered in oil. That was his answer. Each day, she wheeled in with quiet warmth. Each day, he worked like time was running out. The engine came together piece by piece. The seats, restitched. The windshield replaced. The rust ground away until it shined. He didn't talk about the memory. The one he couldn't shake, his father's car, the vanishing sound of laughter, the day everything stopped. But the more he worked, the more that memory changed shape. On the eve of her birthday, he polished the last chrome edge, tied a red ribbon on the steering wheel, then stepped back. The car no longer looked like what it once was. It looked like hope. And maybe that's what he'd been fixing all along. She came early. He was already waiting beside the car, polished, shining, ribbon still in place. When she saw it, she didn't speak. Her breath caught, and then her face crumpled. Tears came fast, not from pain, but from something deeper. He opened the door for her gently, helped her in without a word. Her hands trembled as they touched the seat. "Ready for your birthday drive?" he asked. She nodded, laughing through the tears. He started the engine. It hummed like it was brand new. They pulled out, slow at first, then faster as they reached the open road. The wind took her hair. The sun caught her eyes. She didn't say much, but she didn't have to. She looked alive. Her smile stayed. Long, wide, real. For the first time in years, she didn't look back. He glanced over at her once and saw not a girl in a chair, but a girl flying. But quiet moments like that never stay untouched. Something was coming, and neither of them knew it yet. The next morning, he heard the engine before he saw the car. Not the usual rumble of something broken. This was smooth, powerful, out of place. A black SUV pulled up. The woman who stepped out didn't speak at first. Sunglasses hid her eyes. Her clothes, sharp and exact. "You're Samir?" He nodded, wiping his hands without looking away. She removed her sunglasses. Her eyes, familiar and sharp. "I'm ISA's mother." He straightened slightly. "Oh, is she all right?" "She's more than all right," the woman said, stepping closer. "She hasn't been this happy since her father died." There was a pause. Her voice lowered. "I don't know what you did, but you gave her something to live for again." He shifted, unsure what to say. She handed him a card. Heavy, gold-edged. "Come to this address tomorrow morning. You have a gift waiting. A thank you from me and my daughter." Before he could speak, she turned, stepped back into the SUV, and drove away. He stood there, the card in his hand, watching the dust settle. He arrived the next morning, holding the card like it might disappear. A guard opened the gate without a word. Inside, he followed quiet footsteps through long halls until she appeared again. Maya, calm now, still powerful, but something softer had settled in her voice. "Thank you for coming," she said, shaking his hand. "Please sit." He sat, still unsure why he was here. "I owe you an explanation," she began. "After my husband died, I didn't just lose him. I lost control. My daughter shut down. She stopped smiling. She stopped trying." Samir stayed silent. He listened the way he always did, fully. "But then she met you," Maya continued. "Every day, she came home with something different in her eyes. Hope, purpose." He looked down. "She healed me too," he said quietly. "I didn't know I needed that." She smiled at that. A real one. Then stood. "I don't believe in handouts, Mr. Samir. I believe in gratitude. In recognizing people who do good without expecting anything back." She gestured toward a hallway. "Kulme, let me show you something." He followed, heart pounding, and he had no idea what waited on the other side. The doors lifted slowly. He stared. Couldn't move. Inside was a workshop, unreal. Hydraulic lifts, shining tools, machines he'd only seen in magazines. It looked like something from another life. "This is yours," Maya said. He blinked. I don't understand." "It's part of my foundation's outreach," she said. "I want you to run it. Be head mechanic. Teach apprentices. Customize, expand, whatever you want. Or stay simple. Fix cars with the same care you gave my daughter." He opened his mouth, closed it again. "I can't accept this. It's too much." "It's not charity," she said firmly. "It's investment in who you are." At that moment, ISA rolled in. Her face lit up like it had the day she saw the car. "Mom said you might be stubborn," she teased, eyes warm. "But please say yes." She looked at him, not with need, but with belief. "You made me feel like my legs didn't matter, like I could still chase dreams." He looked at her, at Maya, at the gleaming garage behind them. His whole life had been about fixing what was broken, surviving. But this was a chance to build something. And he had to choose. "I'll do it," he said, almost in a whisper. Then louder, more certain. "Yes, I'll do it." Within weeks, the name went up in clean, bold letters. Samir Auto Care, a dream restored. People came, not for the machines, not for the fancy tools, but for the story. Word spread. The mechanic who fixed a girl's car for free was now running one of the best workshops in the city. He hired 3 apprentices, boys with nothing in their pockets but hope. Boys like he once was. He didn't just teach them to twist bolts or red engine noise. He taught them how to look people in the eye, how to listen, how to respect every person who walked through the door. ISA visited often, sometimes just to sit, sometimes to sketch. But Samir, he had become something else. Not just a man who survived, a man people looked up to, and now everyone was watching. What happens when a quiet man with nothing becomes a symbol of hope? ISA began sketching in the corners of the workshop, pages filled with lines and vision. Cars redesigned not for speed, but for access. She showed him one. "What if we built these? For people like me, who can't drive the way others do." He didn't answer with words, just nodded once, then got to work. He called one of the engineers, then another. Soon, the sketches became blueprints. The blueprints became frames. The frames became vehicles. The first one they completed was simple, sturdy, affordable. They gave it to a young boy in a wheelchair from Rahim Yarkhan. The day he turned the key and the car moved, under his control. He laughed so loudly the whole street stopped. ISA cried first, quietly. Then Samir did too. No shame in it. No hiding. This wasn't about fixing anymore. This wasn't about paying back fate. It was a movement, and it had only just begun. A year passed. The workshop grew. First one more, then 2. 3 cities now knew the name Samir Auto Care. But it wasn't Maya's reputation that built it. It was him, his story, his work, his quiet, unshakable kindness. Maya handed over full ownership without ceremony. No cameras, just trust. He didn't need headlines. He needed purpose, and he had it. On the anniversary of the day ISA first rolled into his life, she returned, holding cake. Frosted, hand-lettered. She smiled, placing it in front of him. To the man who fixed more than just a car. The apprentices clapped. ISA laughed. Samir didn't speak, just looked around at the hands he'd trained, the lives he'd touched. And in that moment, he knew this wasn't an ending. This was what beginnings felt like. But let me ask you something. If it were you, standing in Samir's shoes, would you have made the same choice? Would you have taken the gift, or stayed in your comfort zone? Please like, share, and subscribe, and answer the question in the comments. I'll be checking.